guys, and welcome back. It's time for the next devlog. My productivity has kicked back in, and I got heaps of new stuff to show you, and also some cool news at the end of the video. Let's dive right in. The control level has made decent progress. I managed to prototype all objectives for the player, and the level keeps looking and playing better and better. My current goal is to add more key gameplay elements like item crates, story clues and other stuff until the level feels coherent. In addition, I've been testing with light baking and occlusion culling to max out the performance, with great success. The game currently runs at a smooth 144 plus FPS. The infested enemy has also been improved. Some of them now run, making them more of a threat. I've also been improving their rectal behavior so they become more satisfying to shoot. I had a big moment of happiness recently when my brain did release some dopamine for the first time during a playtest. I literally thought to myself, wow, this is actually fun. It feels like the prototype is becoming the game, and I'm really glad about that. An important task of every game is storytelling, which is usually done through cutscenes and dialogues. But these are very expensive to produce. I will only have 2 cutscenes, one at the start and one at the end of the game, and some dialogue. Most of the actual storytelling will be done through text notes and the environment. Therefore, I will place computers throughout the game which hold little story bits of information in the form of emails. Curious players can read these emails to get to know more about the world, while speedrunners can simply ignore them. I also want to include some kind of compendium in my game, where most important characters, locations and other entities are described. But UI is hard, which is why I took inspiration from the popular game Iron Lung. This game featured a shell-based terminal/database that acted as a very immersive compendium since it was part of the game's world. I plan to do something similar. The player can find data drives scattered throughout the game. Every drive unlocks a new database entry which can then be accessed through the said terminal using simple commands. The design is heavily inspired by classic command line interfaces, but with a more modern look. Speaking of storytelling, I mentioned that I indeed want at least some dialogue. Working subtitles are a legacy feature, which is why I added a modular dialogue system. It simply shows the current dialogue line, nothing crazy. I am prototyping the dialogues using text-to-speech voices before I hire different voice actors on Fiverr. Every squad member, the mission operator and 2 other important characters will receive a voice. There is another thing that I wanted to add for a while, a boss fight. The Terminator movies always terrified me in a special uncanny way. Big human-looking machines made out of steel and moved by hydraulics that could literally tear one apart without any effort. I wanted to recapture that kind of fear for Scourges, which is why I added the Goliath as a boss. He has 3 attacks. He can perform a sweeping attack with his flamethrower, which forces the player to dodge it. He might as well try to crush the player by smashing the ground if the player gets too close. If the player manages to get away too far, the Goliath doesn't hesitate and takes a big leap in order to close some distance. He barely receives any damage when normally shot, but there's a weak spot on his back which kills him way quicker. The fight isn't fully implemented yet. I want to add some crowd control to the player when hit by the zombie attack. Just receiving damage and no other feedback feels pretty bland. Lore-wise, the Goliath is a multi-purpose worker drone that is capable of executing tasks too heavy or dangerous for humans. Plenty of these were present in the laboratory to assist with the work, but then, after the fatal biohazard breach, security protocols instructed every drone within the lab to turn into full cleanse mode and annihilate anything that moves in order to prevent leaks. If you want to know more about the lore/story of my game, check out this video. You might as well check out my Steam page to hit the wishlist button. It's a free way of showing your support. Thanks! I have also been adding 2 new types of grenades to the game. A flare, which simply acts as a light source. I really like the vibe it gives off. Red flares always have something intimidating and alarming to them. The other one is a cryo grenade, which acts as a concussion grenade. It's compressed nitrogen, which freezes enemies upon impact for a brief amount of time. I mentioned in my last devlog that I want to open up a community Discord server for people with special interest in this project. I made one and you can from now on join the server. Link in the description. I will post small updates about the development between devlogs there. Currently, I am also in preparations for the first proper playtest build, which means that you're also able to access test builds of the game there. But of course, I'd also love to chat with you about the project, other games, or game development in general. So if this sounds interesting to you and you want to help playtest the game, make sure to head over. You can find further information there. Lastly, I want to give you guys a quick summary of the current state of the project and how I plan for the future. I want to have the control level ready as a test build by the end of June. This level will act as a vertical slice and fully represents my artistic vision of the game loop. I plan to use this level as a show-off for my game. Around September, when the level is finished, I will start my first major media outreach to streamers, YouTubers, journalists, and maybe even publishers. Afterwards, I will continue working on the prologue, the main laboratory level, and the excavation level. I got around 75% of my game system done. Most of the things I need to add is the actual content. I want to start extensive playtesting on these levels during the holiday season this year. Later, after the second quarter of 2024, I want to aim for a release on Steam after participating within a Steam Next Fest. So in retrospect, I am not much off my initial deadlines for the progress of the game. That's it for today. Thanks once again for watching the video. Make sure to add the game to your wishlist if this looks cool to you. It really helps. Stay curious, and as always, don't spill your beer. See you on Discord.